we were living in Excise Street there, Bromley Road in Belfast. And then, of course, so the experience that I had was the Blitz, was when the Germans was bombing the country, you know what I mean? And I remember vividly that the neighbours called us the Hilly-Billies because we went and hid in the bog, in the Bog Meadows from the air raid. And I remember one time we were going to the Bog Meadows, and my father was with us, and my mother, and all the rest of the family, my brothers and one sister, and the scrapple was falling out of the sky, and I was young, but I realised, I said, Mother, this is awful dangerous. We should walk along the wall. All that scrapple, it would hit you. It would have killed you. You know what I mean? But she took my suggestion, and we walked close to the walls the whole way. We could walk to the Bog Meadows, and then because we were the neighbours with bumpers at school. We were with Hilly-Billies running away. And then one time in school, I went to Tin Top School. Now they called it Tin Top because it once had a tin roof on it, and it got that name. And then, but of course, it was Donegal Road Elementary School it was. And then I remember a young girl who was in our class when they were trying the gas mask on. Oh, she was so frightened, and she was in an uproar. And she wouldn't try it on, and the teacher tried to implore her and say, you must wear it. It's against the law for you not to wear it. But she wouldn't take it home with her and had to get her mother down to take it home. And I remember that time well. So and then, of course, the other times was, I remember one, we built the shelters there. So we could go and work in the shelters. And I was one night in the shelters, and it was dark. It wasn't, the air raid warden didn't allow any lights to be on, so the Germans wouldn't see. And of course, a lady fainted, and I'm sitting there, and they're stuffing the water down my throat, and I'm crying out, "It's not me! It's not me!" And the water was running out of me, so it was. And I said, "It's not me." And I told my mother, I said, "I'm not going back to the shelter. If Hitler gets us, he gets us. I'm not going back into that shelter." And I never went into the shelter again. And of course, there was more air raids, and then I wouldn't go back into the shelter, and I'm going to stay in the house. And everybody stayed in the house, and you could hear the scrapple hitting the roof of the house we were living in. You know, they were right long shelters, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, there would have been 50 in them. And then they put seats in them, you know,
Yeah.
put out rough seats. And everybody, you know, you could hear mumbling and talking to one to the other. They all lived in the same street, you see.
Yeah.
And they knew each other, and that was it. And they would talk about various things, the school and whatnot, you know. And other loads of things, you know. Ladies' talk.
Yeah.
And then, of course, ladies' talk you weren't allowed to hear too much. You know what I mean? I remember if anyone, my mother was talking to neighbours, you were told, go out of the house because you're kept in the dark about everything. And then they talked to her, if their mom wasn't in the shelter, they'd talk about him, drunkenness. My father was a drunk. He was a drinker.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't an alcoholic, but he was a drinker. And one time over the Bog Meadows, he smoked, and he was dilatory about putting out the cigarette, and the other warden said, "You'll have to put it out." And he didn't like that idea, and he says, "I can be seen from the air."